Want to know what my go-to protein sources are? Let's get it. All right, let's start with everyone's most basic breakfast protein option for the most part, and that's gonna be liquid egg whites and whole eggs. So one of the reasons I like those, they taste amazing, they go down easy. With this egg white in particular, what I really like about it is that's 2 cups already in a container. I don't have to measure anything. I just dump the whole container in a pan and go. And then as far as whole eggs, what I really like these heritage breed. They're a little bit more on the expensive side than what you'll find with normal like store-bought eggs, but what you'll find is the yolk is extremely dark and the white is very, very clear. So very high quality, they taste amazing. Throw some salt and pepper on them, you can fry them, you can scramble them, you can hard boil them or poach them. All great ways to get your eggs in for breakfast. So a combination of whole eggs and egg whites. Let's go into what I would consider a go-to staple for me is gonna be chicken breast. And depending upon where I am in the all season or pre-contest, that's gonna be something I eat 2, if not 3 times a day at anywhere between 6 to 10 ounce portions. And one of the reasons I like it is it digests really well, it tastes good. You can also cook that multiple ways. You can do it on the stove top, on the grill, in the air fryer, or even in the oven. If I had to say of all those, the oven is probably my least favorite, only because it's pretty dry. I much prefer grilled or air fried for the chicken. So again, I like to make a bunch of that on the grill at once and just dig out my portion each time I'm gonna eat it, as opposed to making it fresh with each meal. Now, let's go up here to the red meat. That is 96% lean grass-fed beef. That is the Laura Lean brand. You can get any brand there. I prefer grass-fed because it tastes better, and obviously the health benefits of grass-fed over just your regular standard beef is gonna be extremely different. Now, will you pay more for it? 100%, but to me, that's worth it. I'm gonna invest the extra money in high quality organic chicken and grass-fed beef all day long. So that I like to do cook fresh because I only eat red meat twice a week at max. So I'm gonna have that fresh. I'm gonna cook it fresh and prepare it for that singular meal twice a week. You can scramble that, you can make it patty form. You can do a lot of cool things with it. I prefer to scramble it with some rice and some onion and peppers, and it tastes absolutely delicious. So very easy. A lot of people that don't have any beef intolerances or digest beef really well, you can have that every single day. For years, I had 1 to 2 servings of 8 ounces of beef and grew really well off of that. So ground beef's easy to go. You can cook that whole pound a day and just split into 2 servings. All right, next up, 99% lean ground turkey. That's a very similar nutrient profile to the chicken and to the cod here, as well as the shrimp. That's another one of my favorites. Is I have that twice a day, all season and pre-contest. I like to make patties out of those, throw them on the grill, and then just break them over rice. Again, peppers, some onion, tastes amazing on that. Or you can get really fancy and season that with some garlic, onion powder, sea salt, and pepper, and over rice it tastes really good. Pre-contest, I tend to cover that in Frank's Red Hot with some asparagus. That's one of my favorite meals as well. So far, those 4 sources. Next up is gonna be the flank steak. So just like ground beef, I like the 96% lean. I like flank steak because as you can see with this piece in particular, it's very, very lean. I cook that medium rare and it's really good. Now, if you overcook that, it's gonna be tough and not tender whatsoever. If you go and look at one of my old videos of flank steak in a crock pot, it's another great way to cook it if you're not gonna grill it. So that's a cool meal you can do for your whole family. Throw that over a bed of rice. Tastes absolutely amazing. So flank steak or filet, if I'm gonna pick a steak, is gonna be my go-to options. If I want a ground or minced version, I'm gonna go this grass-fed ground beef all day. All right, let's get into some fish options. So let's say you don't do red meat and you're burnt out on chicken. What are some good things for fish? I like shrimp. That's probably gonna be my absolute favorite. It's a little bit more pain in the neck in terms of taking the shell off and then deveining it, but it tastes really good. I like to put teriyaki sauce on that with some rice, zucchini, and some red onion. Tastes absolutely amazing there. Or you can put them on the grill, or you can toss them into the stovetop and use some Old Bay seasoning. It's a great option for that shrimp. So again, over rice, have it with potatoes, or just like a salad if you want to put it over that if you're having a carb-free option. You can cook it in some olive oil if you have fats with that meal, or just drizzle some like melted grass-fed butter is another great way to have that, or even you could cook it in macadamia nut oil and then drop that over a salad and it tastes really good and appetizing. All right, next up, cod. That is my go-to like fish in terms of lean white fish. That is wild caught, just like the shrimp, just like the salmon, because wild caught to me is gonna be way more superior than farm raised. I won't get into all that detail as how gross it is to eat farm raised fish, but just trust me when I say look up and do some research. You definitely want wild caught. It's gonna be higher quality, it's gonna taste better, it's not gonna smell fishy, and typically it's a lot more palatable. I know it is for me. I'm not a big, huge fish eater, but pre-contest I do like to eat it at the end when I pull all my protein shakes out. I'll replace that with 2 cod meals, sometimes 3. Because I tend to digest that very, very well and it tastes good to me. So a little secret for cod, a lot of people like to cook it savory. I prefer to do it sweet. So I'll throw that in the oven on broil for 8 minutes. I'll pull it out, let it cool, and then put it into Pyrex containers and let it chill in the fridge. When it's time for me to eat it, I will pull out my desired portion. I'll drop it on the skillet. I'll mince it up to where it's really flaky and fine. I'll put 1 packet of Splenda, I'll put cinnamon on it, and then I'll finally top it with a little bit of vanilla extract, like a little bit, less than a teaspoon. Mix that up, put it on the plate, have that with some asparagus and cucumber, tastes absolutely amazing. If I want a carb source of that, to keep with that sweet sensation, I tend to like cream of rice, and again, I'll have rice and grinds there, as you guys saw in the carb video. So that's a cool way to cook cod if you aren't a big fish eater, and to me it doesn't taste fishy at all, and it goes down really well, it digests well, and I operate very well. At the end of my last contest prep, I was having 3 servings of that a day at 10-ounce cooked portions, and I had no issue getting it down. Last up with the protein sources is going to be the Alaskan salmon. Again, very similar to the beef, very similar to the eggs. That's going to be a mixture of protein and fats. So unlike the cod, unlike the shrimp, that's going to be a mix of protein and fat. So if I'm getting a mixed meal of protein, that is going to be an extremely good protein source. People who tend to not like fish like to lean towards salmon because it has a better taste, it's not quite as fishy, and it goes down, again, just like with the cod, it goes down very well, digests well. You can put that over a salad, have that with a potato. A lot of different ways we can cook and prepare that. I know Ty, for example, our older son, I'll put that on the stove with a little bit of olive oil, and I'll brown it with some sea salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic, and he sucks that down during wrestling season when he's trying to cut weight. So again, the salmon there, just like the cod is in the shrimp, are going to be on the pricier side. So to kind of wrap this video up, in terms of cost effectiveness, the chicken is going to be by far the cheapest of this whole group here. Then next up will be the turkey. Then going to be the whole eggs and egg whites, and then lastly, anything with fat in it or fish are going to be on the higher end. And that's again because I choose to do the grass-fed beef and I choose to do the wild-caught fish or shrimp. So again, some alternate options. If you don't like this or you're having trouble getting your protein in, I'm all day long going to recommend Granite Whey. Great way to mix in a shake, chug it down fast. You can have that as a meal, as a snack. Let's say you aren't a big meat eater, and let's say your coach or whoever you're working with calls for 8 ounces of meat, or say 2 cups of egg whites and you can't get all that down. Have a cup of egg whites instead of 2, and then have a scoop of whey of the Granite Whey with that. So again, if you struggle getting all the meat down, you're not a big meat eater, or if you're fast on the go and have a job that's really busy, hammer that whey protein. Granite's the way to go there. It's a blend of 5 different protein sources and a great way to finish your day up. So comment below if you have any other protein sources that I left off. The only one that you guys may say that's a typical bodybuilder food is tuna. You will never see me eat that. It's like dang on cat food. Not appetizing, I hate it. I've tried it every single way because when I was in college and didn't have a lot of disposable income, I was like, hey, I'm gonna put some barbecue sauce on this, lemon pepper, season it. How can I make it taste good? And guess what? It always tastes like trash. So I'm a big believer in finding sources of food that you enjoy and look forward to instead of gagging and throwing up. Thanks, guys.